About 30 seconds to get that second cup of coffee or that second glass of mimosa so that you can sit down, relax, put your feet up, and get ready for Talks with Tanya. This is an amazing day today because I have, oh yeah, we are broadcasting live. All right. I have a plethora of guests. Today I have joining us some ladies from the University of Delaware Blue Hens women's basketball team. Yay! I'm really excited and even more excited about it because these are ladies that are doing something. Because, I'm a big proponent of taking action. And these ladies are not only taking action on the basketball court, okay? They are taking action in the community and making things happen. Here on Talks with Tanya, my goal is about educating, informing, impacting, and connecting by sharing information that builds bridges to help heal lives and leads to whole life success. And I enjoy doing that. I enjoy sharing information with you and bringing you guests that can do that. You know, I refuse. I refuse to lose sight of the the challenges that face us, and just because the issues of the day are not front and center uh, on the news as they had been in the past few weeks. For me, it's even more reason to talk about it. Um, our communities continue to be overwhelmed with grief. COVID-19 has not gone away. You know that every week I urge you to use wisdom. Just because somebody tells you it's okay uh, to go out places and do things, use wisdom and your mask. If you look at the news of the day, if you do your own research, even research that is trying to be hushed, uh, COVID is not going away. I just told a friend of mine yesterday, we were just having this discussion about kind of letting go and, starting to go back to normal. And my position is there is no back to normal. There's no going back to the way things are. And I said, you probably won't see me out and about doing things that aren't necessary till about spring. And so that's my personal way of handling things. And each and every one of us really needs to do the research and move according to wisdom. Okay, move according to wisdom. If you pay attention to what is going on, there are concerted efforts to keep the information out of our hands. All right. Just read the news. I'm not going to spotlight any particular people, but be aware. Be aware of what is going on and what information that is being altered or hidden, tried to be hidden from us, but use wisdom. We need to continue to to be appalled. Okay, We know that George Floyd um, was a situation that was highlighted. We know that Breonna Taylor was a situation that was highlighted, but they are not the only ones. I find it just appalling that we still don't have any charges in the case of Breonna Taylor. And that repeats itself over and over again in our communities. We look at the cities across the nation and the world, who erupted in rage, and I'm going to call it despair. Um, and our civil rights leaders. Um, I want to take a couple of moments um, just honor a couple of our civil rights leaders that have been called onto glory. We know that Congressman John Robert Lewis has gone on to glory. I believe it was yesterday. In addition to that, someone who is probably not as well known is Reverend C.T. Vivian from. I think he spent a lot of time in the Chicago area, and Reverend Joseph Eccles Lowry as well. These are people who have been on the battlefield, who stood up and were fearless in the face of, literally in the face of the enemy. And they fought for freedom, justice, and decency. And that battle continues. So today we are going to talk a little bit about that and this group of amazing women who, felt, who used their voices to highlight situations that are happening here in Delaware, and I was just really excited to be able to bring them on. So let me handle some business because in it all you always got to handle the business. I want to. I like doing this. All right. One of my sponsors is the Real Rose Petals. And she's been on my show and actually has given my granddaughter some piano lessons. Okay, on the second lesson, my girl Maya was playing the piano. She also just recently did her coming out gala, which was held on Thursday. You can find information about the rose petals. Let me get to that information right here. All right, she is a concert pianist, a composer, instructor, and host of Cover Classic Wednesdays Live, which is held on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Instagram and Facebook. And these are her Facebook and Instagram handles. You can go to The Rose Petals. The Rose Petals. I appreciate her sponsorship and for allowing me to share about her. You know that we need to be in support of each other as we move along the way. So I'm very happy to highlight her as one of my sponsors. And I'm always about a cause. We are still collecting for the Fill the Drum fundraiser in support of the American and African Youth Leadership Foundation. So you want to make sure that you can go to my Facebook page and contribute to the fundraiser there. All right. You can also go to, and I'll leave the link up, jewelpads.charity. All right. And you can make your donation there. But please support our girls. Support us in our quest to help our girls in Zimbabwe avoid child marriages, and also make sure that they have safe sanitary napkin supplies. So I thank the American and African Youth Leadership Foundation for their sponsorship. All right, all right. So without further ado, as they say, I have had the opportunity to meet an amazing young woman in the person of Natasha Adair, and she was on my show a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about the importance of paying it forward, and you know how it is that we believe that we have an accountability to give back and to make a difference. And she has put together an amazing group of young women, and I am going to be bringing them on. So here we go. You know, I'm the producer here too. All right. So first coming up, we have Jasmine Dickey. Welcome to Talks with Tanya, Jasmine. All right, all right. And then we have, I feel like you should be like running out on the court or something, right? We have Lizzie O'Leary. Welcome,
Hi.
Lizzie. Welcome, welcome. All right. And next on the court, we have China Latimer. Welcome, China. Welcome, welcome. All right. And next we have the amazing Ty Battle.
Hi.
Welcome. Welcome to Talks with Tanya. All right. And let's not forget the folks that keep them going. Wait a minute. Here we have Coach Michaela. Welcome. Welcome, Michaela. Thanks for joining us. All right. And last but not least, make sure I didn't forget anybody. We have Coach Natasha Adair. Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
All right. All right. So I'm going to, first of all, I appreciate you spending a little bit of your Saturday morning with me. I know that, you know, there are other things you could be doing, but I just thought that it was important enough that our listening audience, you know, had some exposure to some really amazing people. Oh, good morning. Good morning. We have, thanks for giving us a shout out, Alicia. Alicia Clark says, hey.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, yes. Hey, Alicia, thanks for joining us. All right, thanks, Facebook family. But I want to ask Coach Adair if she could just
We
give
can't
us.
hear you, Tanya.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No? Well, let's do something about that.
It was like you muted us all. You muted yourself.
There we go. Can you hear me now? Wait a minute.
Now we can. Now we can.
Okay, very good. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Had to put on my other little hat. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. And Coach, can you just give us an idea how these young ladies came together on this very amazing project?
Well, first and foremost, they are amazing young women. And, you know, these are just a few of our team and our family. But when this all happened in the untimely murder around George Floyd's, you know, death and situation, you know, they were feeling all different emotions. as we were. And Coach Michaela Walker in one of our staff meetings came to me and she said, Coach, we have to get to our girls. We have to act now. And immediately we had to go to Zoom, obviously, because we are all still in separate locations due to COVID. But we got on a Zoom call, and there were a range of emotions, obviously, that I was feeling. One as a Black woman, but also a mother of a 22-year-old son and a mother of a 14-year-old daughter. And so I have my own feelings, my own emotion, but at that time it was about making sure my student athletes, my coaches were okay. And I only thought of two questions to ask. And it was the first one, Tanya, I just wanted to know what they were feeling because that was going to help give me direction. And they put it in the chat on the Zoom. And there were a range of emotions. There was anger, there was disappointment, there was hurt, there was sadness, there was pain. And then there was another question that I posed to them. It was, what did they need from myself as their coach, their coaching staff, and each other as sisters? And they talked about love and support, understanding, empathy. But there was one answer that didn't surprise me, but it stood out. It was direction. And it was at that moment we knew we had to act. And after that, Tanya, a couple of days passed, but in the conversation, people brought up, Coach, we want to do something that matters. One of our freshmen spoke up to our cousins, said, we don't want this to fade. Whatever we do, we want to make sure it keeps going. And all of that weighed in. And so we talked about, hey, you guys come together, you all talk. And they did. And she is not on the call, Paris McBride, our point guard, but she was one who had talks with other friends that attend other institutions at another institution. And she met with the team. And you know what I'll do? I'll let them talk about just how that conversation went, so then they can explain it in its entirety after their teammate addressed them.
Good, good, good. All right, Ty, I'm going to call on you. I'm a teacher.
Good choice.
So Paris actually made a group chat of a couple people. She sent the whole message to the team, but then she set aside a couple people to bring it all together. And with that, we kind of made a letter as a team addressing some major issues with just society and what's going on in the world. And after that, it's kind of when we made the group. We talked to Coach A, and she loved the idea. And from there, she just got her resources and just kept pushing it forward. And that's where we are today.
All right. All right. So, Lizzie, tell me how you felt working with your teammates. What led you to decide, you know what, this is something I need to be a part of?
I think one of the major things for me personally was just about action, because everyone hears all kinds of, we should do this and this should happen, but we can't just do that by talking about it. We have to get something done. We have to talk to other people. We can't just keep it between us. We have to reach out and do different things. So being a part of this has just been a step forward for action, and that's the most important part to me.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Jasmine, tell me about how it is, that you came and some of the things that you were feeling that drove you to take some action, like Lizzie said.
I think just being there for our teammates and just making sure that they know that we have their backs at the end of the day and making sure that we're all together. This is just something that we were really pushing forward to make a change at all. And, just meeting with different people and making our platform useful. It's just really been life-changing. And like Lizzie said, just overall impactful for everybody.
Awesome. China, you guys are accustomed to working as a team, ordinarily, which, I know a little bit about basketball. My sister was an amazing basketball player. I was a great cheerleader. But but I do understand, that there's a different type of camaraderie, in a team, especially in a competitive team. What was different about this particular initiative for you?
What was different for me was I could sense the passion that all my teammates had. We were all very passionate about the topic, and everybody wanted to, I guess, like what you say, take action. They wanted to be a part of it, and I think that's what was different for me. We all wanted to put our foot in, do something that can be useful and helpful, and then work together as a team to like get to where we are now and encourage others and educate others and just make a better system for people who look like us.
So, did anyone have any idea kind of where it would take you?
I had no idea.
I have no idea. I thought it was just gonna be a letter.
Yeah, I think we all thought that it would kind of just be a letter, but then it got a lot of attention and it kind of just kept moving upward in the people we were speaking to. So that was surprising, but like really.
Yeah, definitely a shout out to Coach A and our AD Chrissy for just taking that platform and pushing us to meet different people, talk to so many like higher people, and just getting our voices heard throughout everybody.
Well, and Tanya, just to piggyback on that, they're so right. Once they wrote the letter, and I immediately went to our athletic director, Chrissy Raywa, and presented her the letter. I also had to hold back emotions after I read the letter because it just speaks to their passion, their drive, their commitment, their fight. And so when Chrissy read it, she said, Natasha, we have to move this even further. She said, we don't want this letter to get lost on a desk. We want to put it in the hands of people who are really going to make a difference. And that's when she put us in touch with the people on campus, government relations people. And then they took it a step further. And as you know, to have our players sit in front of the governor via Zoom, sit in front of face-to-face the Attorney General, Kathy Jennings, and continue to learn and educate themselves about legislation and how to get bills passed and what they need to do to get in front of the General Assembly. This was a fast track, a quick course, right? A speed course in just government, in history and policy making. And so this is just the beginning. As our AD says, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But to be able to have the resources, the allies, the people that are kind of in this fight with you, that help make things happen and help make things move forward. So we are very blessed and fortunate to have the right people around us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Coach KK, what was your feeling about this? How are you feeling about where you guys were when you started and where you are now?
I would say I'm very proud, or pro UD, as we say. I'm proud of our players having the opportunity to use their voices. I knew they were going to do it. They were already doing it before we met. So for me, the important part was to make sure that we were using the correct language so that our message didn't get lost in everything, all the emotions that was going on in this. So that was my focus in the beginning, and now I'm just sitting back and watching them. I'm amazed by how loud they are with their voices, how strong they are with their voices. So I'm filled with a lot of hope because they're carrying the torch, and this is what we prepare them to do. That's why they come to play college basketball, so that you have that platform, so you have an opportunity and you know how to use your voice. So I'm proud.
Absolutely. I am too. It's like, wow. Perhaps, maybe you're understanding this as you're going along, but it takes people years, years, to be able to get to the point, first of all, to speak up.
Right.
Okay. And then next, to be able to move in the circles and express yourself in those circles. So I'm going to ask Jasmine, what is it, when you learned that you were going to be meeting with the governor and is it the district attorney?
Attorney.
Attorney
The
General.
attorney.
Attorney General. Oh my goodness, even higher. How did you feel about that, Jasmine?
I was excited, just speaking to those people of power and just letting them hear our voices because they are closer to the people, like the legislative, who make the laws and the bills and stuff like that. So being able to express how we feel as far as what we wanted done, the reforms we were interested in, and the changes that we were interested in, and just having them give their input, but also hear us out and listen to how we feel and everything like that. It was a great opportunity, and I think we all learned a lot from it.
Wonderful, wonderful. China, what was it about the whole interaction and kind of where you are now that you feel has moved you the most?
I think just seeing everybody come together, and I guess kind of the interaction with the governor, and like kind of how just us, like where we're starting from, like anybody can really make a change and be a part of that. That can help me the most. If you like look at like yourself and say, what can I do? But obviously, the four of us here, we did something. We band together, we wrote a letter, and we were able to talk to powerful people.
Yes, being part of the change. And Ty, so when you were preparing for this, did you have a particular message that you wanted to get across?
We had a lot of messages. Like, for instance, we had one with the police reform and stuff. We wanted to get just justice for everyone. And then also we wanted, like, for schools to have more education purposes for diversity and inclusion. So, like, our overall message was just change overall.
So can you share with me, like, what, when you walked in, what were the major items that you wanted to get across? What did you want to walk away from the table with?
Is it for me or everyone? Oh.
Yeah.
One of them was just the police chokehold, which actually got passed actually a couple days after meeting with the governor and attorney general. Another one was we were talking about just police reform. So they're still working on that. So that was another thing that was brought up. And then there was two other things. Do you guys remember?
We talked about the hiring process as well. Kind of, they have to go through what they're required to do in order to get hired.
You were talking about the hiring process?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And other things, there was like de-escalation training, the mental health evaluation of your officers, and also taking that a step further. Did they have military training or background? Was there trauma while in the military, and is that addressed? How do they reevaluate the officers in the event that there is an altercation? What is that process? So really, the excessive use of force, vetting your officers and making sure that there is training in place, the hiring practices. They also, one of their main initiatives was the body cameras and making sure all the officers in the state of Delaware not only have them, but turn them on. And that was a conversation that the Attorney General really educated all of us about, is that they had to write in the law, in the bill, to make sure the officers turned them on, because there were some instances where they did not and were not held accountable for that. And so, like the players have said, Tanya, we all have learned so much. We know face value of certain things, but it has been a really, I think, great experience for myself and our student athletes to really learn in depth how laws are made, how they are brought to the table, what you need to do. And for our student athletes, this is just the beginning. I will let them talk about kind of the task force and how we came to create that, but then what are the roles within there to make sure we keep this movement going, we keep this fight for social justice, equality, peace, civility, and humanitarian issues on the forefront.
Yes. So tell me about, Lizzie, tell me a little bit about the expectations going forward. As a result of the meeting, we know that the the governor did, pass the law. Was it the law, the legislation? Okay,
Yeah.
that brought about the changes. Uh, what is it that you are working on going forward? Because you guys are still like you guys in for real in action now.
We are for real, Tanya.
Yeah, so something that we're really focusing on right now is our community and kind of the state of Delaware. So we have our task force meeting and we're talking about ways that we can reach out into the community, especially the lesser developed areas, and kind of working on community policing and getting the police officers involved in activities where they can get to know the people that they're policing, and then the people know who's driving around in their neighborhoods and who's supposed to protect them, and kind of just creating that relationship so that everyone's more comfortable with who's supposed to protect them. So that's something that we're really focusing on right now.
All right. And so can somebody tell me about the composition? Who is on the task force with you guys now?
You guys, I'll take it.
Yeah, so we have
Okay.
a
Go
mixture.
ahead. No. Who was speaking? Dickie?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have a mixture of actually students on it. So football players, volleyball players, swim players, I want to say, and just us, of course. We all came together first with the meeting with the governor and also the meeting with the general attorney, and we moved that team towards making the task force. We also brought students from our D&I, which is diversity and inclusion team, and just bringing us all together. And then we broke up. Actually, we're still together, of course, but we broke up into two different groups. So where it's program, which is focusing on what Lizzie said as far as the community, and then it's policy, which is focused on like the reforms and stuff, and then we're going to bring that together and really just go based off that and just keep building from there. So it's a wide range of student athletes that are included in this.
So that's amazing, okay? Because not only did you engage those closest to you, you also have reached out to the larger group as well. So tell me about how did that come about? Somebody want to share with me some of those interactions of bringing other people on board with you?
So I get
China?
like, oh,
Wait, can you guys hear me? Ty
Yeah.
told me kind of low. Okay. So kind of how it came about was after the letter got sent out, the person who's kind of in charge of it all is Gino. And he reached out to some players in the football team. They're very passionate about the topic as well, so they wanted to be a part of what we were doing. And then we also invited, like Jasmine was saying, volleyball players, swim players, and then I'm a part of the diversity inclusion group. So we're focused on educating ourselves, and when we educate ourselves, educate others, educate our teammates and all that. So once we got that out there to the group and the SAC group as well, they wanted to be a part of the initiative. And that's kind of how we got started with bringing people onto the team.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And Tanya,
Yes.
not to cut you off, China mentioned by the name of Gino. Gino Bukowski is the Assistant Director of Student Athlete Leadership and Development here at the University of Delaware. And so that was the immediate connect that Chrissy made. First and foremost, she went right to Gino. And then Gino reached out to the government relations people on campus to then get in touch with the governor as well as the attorney general. So that was the process in how we moved the letter to the table.
Wonderful. And in doing so I'm going to ask, I'm going to ask each of you, what was the greatest lesson that you have learned so far from this experience? I'll start with Jasmine.
Yeah, I would say the greatest lesson for me is just keep fighting. We could have stopped at the letter, we could have stopped at our Zoom call, but we kept going. And we just really made it a goal to make a change, and we brought everybody along with us, and we're continuing to bring everybody along with us. So definitely just continuing the fight and not letting it just get brushed under the rug.
I love that. All right, continuing the fight. What about you, Lizzie?
I would say that for me, there's always more to learn, and there's always more that you can research about, and just continually educating yourself, because this is something that's always changing. It's the same basis, but there's different things changing throughout time. So there's always something you can do to teach yourself more.
Awesome. Teach yourself more. Coach KK.
For me, throughout this process, I'll say there's been two things that I've learned. One is learning how to translate what I'm feeling, what I'm experiencing, and what I want, and turning that into meaningful and impactful action. So it's been a maturing journey for me. But the other thing that I've learned and really witnessed throughout this process is our team's ability to persevere and overcome adversity. And their leadership. So in addition to everything that we've done so far, I'm so excited to see how this translates on the court, because these experiences really are something that's just really matured them in the last 3 months. So I'm excited for us to get out on the court and show this perseverance.
All right, Ty, what about for you?
My thing I say is I have a chance to change history. And with that, I can change history for the people of my color, of the younger generation. So I'm just keep pushing it so I can do that.
I love that. Yes, yes, yes. China.
For me, it would be about using your platform to know that things are bigger than yourself, and that we all have a platform that we can use to spread and educate people on. And they can, like, no matter what you're doing, people look at it and say, like, hey, like, what happened to us? I want to be a part of that task force. So once we use our platform, it drew others to what we wanted to do, and now they can change.
Awesome life lessons. Coach.
Oh gosh. I guess for me as a leader, um, is to know my responsibility as such, and to not go silent when it's uncomfortable, to help educate them on and off the court. I don't want to just be their coach, I want to be their example. And I want to be their example in good times, I want to be their example in bad times, uncomfortable times, uncertain times. And so I want them to see in me what inspires them to do more.
Yes.
I want them to see in me just the way. And so my role is to empower them. And that was my word in the chat. And to do so, I have to be on the forefront. It can't just be lip service for me. And so I'm inspired by them. I'm encouraged by them. And my job is to make sure that I lead the fight for them and encourage them to do more and let them know that they will never fight alone.
Yes, absolutely. This, the reason why I really wanted you on here, okay, and the ladies particularly, because I believe that people need to see our youth in action, okay, in action, in a way that is impactful, okay, that in a way that is building a bridge and tearing down walls for the long term, for the long term. And I will say this to you guys, and I know you know this, you will never be the same as a result of what is happening today. All right. That conversation that started as tell me how you feel. How are you feeling? Okay. That turned into a movement, a huge movement that you're going to, you're bringing on people right now. You're impacting the community. You have impacted the law of the land. Okay. And I'm going to be very frank here. Don't get it twisted. Okay. Delaware is up south. Okay. Delaware is up south. People think, oh, you up north? No, we're not. And there's some entrenched behaviors and mindsets that are, part of the institution. And what you have done is you have taken on the institution. You have taken on the institution, and people need to see your faces and hear your voices as it relates to that. So I just want to recap the lessons here, for our audience, and don't you forget it, okay? Keep fighting, all right? Keep fighting. It's that resiliency, all right? And I can assure you, okay, you're going to see it on court. There's no way you're not going to see this on the basketball court. There's no way. I mean, I fear for the folks when they meet up this team now. I just fear the folks.
Say that again,
okay?
Tanya. Say that again.
I'm serious, because I can feel it. All right, I can feel it. It's just that, yes. All right. Being able to learn more. Okay, continually learning and teaching, because when you learn, others learn. You can teach someone else. So I'm telling you, the world is forever impacted. Everybody you ever run into, okay, especially on the court, it's going to be impacted this, okay? Being able to translate, all right, what you have done into meaningful action, okay, into meaningful action. This is so critical because that's what we need now, all right? It's who's going to stick with it, and you guys are going to stick with it. Understanding, the government relations, a chance to change history. That is huge. A chance to change history. I was listening to a broadcast this morning, and one of the gentlemen who had passed away, he said the same thing. The reason that he was in the fight, okay, for civil rights was his chance to change history. There's an alignment there, okay, an alignment there. Being able to use the platform, okay. Now you understand civics in a way and how things work in a way that you never would have before. How many of you knew about the process before you got into this? Yeah, me too. Yeah, I was a history major in civics, but I didn't know. Okay, it's important, and you can teach someone that knowing your responsibility, okay, and being an example. All of those things is something that I want to urge you to continue to do, because the fight has just begun. The fight has just begun. I see this as a huge movement, and on behalf of all of us, all the people, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. There's a question in the audience, so tell me, what is your impression of the colleges and universities' recent decisions to rescind admission offers based on racist online comments? So the colleges have decided to rescind admission offers based on comments that people have made online, racist comments. How do you feel about that? Anybody?
I'll take that one. I mean, I think that is a bold stance by colleges and universities to let their students, their faculty, their staff know that those universities aren't going to tolerate that. That they don't want, those racial comments. They don't want that belief at their institution. And I think that if they continue making those public stance, and letting people know that we will not have this at our university, that we will not subject our students, our faculty, our staff, our employees, anyone to this behavior. I think that that will continue to move forward. So I think that that is a bold stance. I think that it's a necessary stance. And I think that that is a statement, a great statement from universities to make.
Yes. And that really emboldens
And to
you.
piggyback
Go ahead, Kay.
to piggyback off of that, though, I think that it's important because these are things that, you know, they're hard to get behind, but like Coach A said, it's a bold stance that says this is who we are and this is who we believe in, and if this is not something that you can get behind, then you cannot be a part of our community.
Correct.
And that's one of the big things that I've seen our athletic director take a stance on. Chrissy has been big with our, the girls mentioned the diversity and inclusion committees. We also have one for our staff. And it's not a committee that's a Band-Aid because we want to show good faith. It's our committees are actually really working to make strategic plans, strategic change. And so I think that it's important for colleges and universities to step up and say, this is who we're going to be. And if you don't want to be that, then you can't be here.
Well,
so I think.
And it's also important, Tanya, to let you know that we have to have representatives in these organizations to then have a voice while they are making decisions. And so I am proud that we have representatives in these, you know, on these committees within our own team and within our own staff. And so we're not going to know what's not happening in the room. We want to be in every room. And I want to continue to encourage them, empower them to use their voice, but to also speak up in these meetings for change. I have to also, we talked about all the other players that have kind of helped move our initiative, but I would be remiss if I did not give a shout out to Alicia Clark. She's a social strategist. She's a rock star. She came in and actually spoke to our group, our task force group, and she was the one that really gave us direction on what's next and what steps to take. So she helped us form a committee and told us how to break it up for policy and programs and kind of just continue that forward motion on what's next. So Clark, I know you're there and I know you're listening. We all say thank you.
Yes, that's amazing. You need that. You need a direction. You need an ongoing support in order to make sure that these initiatives move forward, okay? The action turns into an outcome, okay? And then you just go back, clean it up, and repeat it, okay? Because this isn't going to be the only thing that you need to work on. I'm extremely proud of you, ladies. You know, we got some shouts out here. Daryl says he's proud of his little sister.
That's my brother.
Yes. Nichelle said, "Great job, ladies. Continue to lead by example." Ada Agnes Paul said, "Let's go Blue Hens." Yes. Yes. We have Alexandria Shaw, thumbs up. All right. Yeah, I know. This is great. Y'all got a following, okay? Barbie Moore, okay. Blue Hens, women's basketball move different than most. Proud of these women. All right. And Alicia's saying sustainable activism. She got you.
Yes.
Okay. That is one of the keys. I am looking forward to you know, partner. You can't get rid of me. Maggie said, "Love you guys. So proud." Okay. Y'all have a following. Yes. And I mean that because this is going to translate on the court like never before. All right. So look, I got to get in. All right. When the time is right.
You're in, Tanya. You're in.
I'll try and remember some of my cheers. When the time is right. Ladies, you have an open invitation to come on Talks with Tanya. I would love to add my voice to yours in moving something forward, because it is all about action. Thank you again. Any last words?
I actually do have one last word. I would like to add on to what we were talking about earlier with the colleges and universities making that stance. I do want to say that that is a foot in the door. I believe the most important action is hiring people of color to lead these young individuals. I want to give a testament to Coach Adair and the way that she hasn't skipped a beat since everything went down, since the moment I said, Coach Adair, you got to talk to them. She's literally been leading the charge, and she's been the example that all of us needed. And I'll tell you that is why my mother committed for me to play for Coach Adair, because that's the example that she wanted me to have and the example she wanted me to mature under. And that's why it's so vital and so important for these colleges and universities to focus their efforts on hiring people of color to help lead these young individual athletes, student athletes that are minorities, that need guidance, that need to see people like them lead the way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that's right. I know that's right. Any last words? Don't be shy.
Anybody?
Thank you for having us.
Oh my goodness. This
Yes,
has
thank
been
you.
my honor. This has been my honor. I want to know what's going on. Okay. I want to know what's going on. Anything that I can share with you, I'll be more than happy to do that. I'll share a quick story with you. And actually, she is going to be a guest on my show tomorrow, Dr. Maria Vallejo. And she and I were best friends in high school, and still, we're very good friends. And we started a chapter of an organization in our high school. And in our high school, and at the time, I didn't pay attention to it because I just wasn't of that mindset. But if there were a total of 10, people of any kind of color in the school, there were a lot, and there was at the time there was probably a school of about not a whole lot, a high school of maybe 500. Okay, we were bold enough to start a chapter of an organization called Aspira, okay, which is a Hispanic organization that is focused on education and advocacy. And so, we decided that that's what we were going to do. And, as a result of that, we could see the change in the makeup of the school, a change in, the power that we felt in being able to make a change in the community and do, voter registration drives and so forth. So the change that you're making now is something that is lifelong. Okay. I said earlier about, nothing's going to go back to the same. Nothing will be the same for you guys as a result of that. And, your answer, your ability to answer the call and step forward in the challenge, will continue to have that ripple effect in the community. And you are the change, okay, that needs to be made, that you're waiting for. Don't wait for it. Do it, and bring people on board with you as well. Thank you again, ladies.
Tanya, before we get off, I have been a part of a lot of different Zooms, and I love how we exit on one of them where each person has one word checkout.
I love that.
So if we can go around and everybody just give one word as they check out, I think that will be very powerful. So, Dickie, you can start.
My word would be hope.
Oh.
My word would be motivated.
My word is faith.
My word is love.
My word is support.
My word's going to stay the same. Empower.
And my word is inspired. Yes. Thank you. God
Thank
bless you.
Tanya.
All
Thank
right, folks. I will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. on Talks with Tanya with Dr. Maria Vallejo, bringing to us about the importance of higher education, the importance of higher education for our families and the future. Y'all be blessed. Thanks, everyone. Remember, stay inspired. Good night.
you.
Yeah.
All right.